Unless you're a chronic stealth knockout enjoyer like I am, you probably haven't heard of a game named Filcher. Released in 2021, Filcher was developed by Johan Jarpe and published under Mythologic Interactive. The Steam store page describes the game as a 2.5-dimension noir stealth game where you play as Spory, the Fensbrook Filcher. She's a master thief, tasked with burglarizing various homes and businesses throughout your journey. Filcher is heavily inspired by Thief, and I'll just let you know right now, there's going to be a lot of comparisons between the way Filcher is designed and Thief. It's just unavoidable. The word Thief appears multiple times in the Steam store page, including a direct mention here as inspiration. And also another game I've never heard of, called Dude Sex. At the start of the level, you're given a set of objectives to complete, usually with a mission-critical item, like stealing Lady Wildamont's necklace in Mission 1, and any extra loot you can find. This additional loot you steal can include jewelry, cash, and even valuable documents from filing cabinets. Unfortunately, the money you steal from the level does not carry over to the next, and there is no shop menu between missions like in Thief. Instead, you're given a full set of tools like lockpicks, flashbangs, noisemakers, dart gun, and my personal favorite, the blackjack. Filcher's movement feels incredibly similar to Thief. If you've played Thief, you're going to feel right at home here. You have your typical WASD movement, the ability to lean, and a crouch key with a sliding mechanic? That's new and interesting. It took me a long time to get to grips with the slide. The way it works is if you're running at full speed for about a second, pressing Control will put your character into a short sliding animation. This can and will trip you up a lot if you're used to Thief controls when you're trying to crouch in a hurry to avoid making noise. There were definitely a few times where, instead of crouching, I dropped into a graceful slide right into the guard's ass, alerting them to my presence and getting shot to pieces in the process. These really should be separate keybinds, honestly. Once you're used to it, however, it doesn't quite feel so bad and you can really pull off some slick takedowns. There are no difficulty modifiers in Filcher. The level layouts, NPC, and loot placement do not change. Instead, at the end of each mission, you are given a rating that can range between Novice and Ghost. The Ghost ranking in Filcher requires you to explore the level to its fullest, requiring all loot, secrets, no detections, and no knockouts. Now, this might be a hot take or a boomer complaint, but I'm not the biggest fan of stealth rating systems. I'm the type of person that likes to knock out everyone and explore the levels to find everything, especially in a blind playthrough. It's a lot easier to steal stuff when all the guards are piled on top of each other in a dark corner. In Thief, you were also given a stat breakdown at the end of each mission, but there weren't any ratings. The game didn't give you like 9 blackjacks out of 10 because, well, you never got spotted, but damn, you really knocked out 10 people? Guess you're not getting the Ghost rating. The only big thing that Thief demanded of you on higher difficulties was that you don't kill anyone. The rest was up to you. Thief let you play how you wanted, but gave you structure from the objectives and loot requirements. I gotta touch on the save system, as this is one of the main complaints I see on the store page, and I fully agree with the sentiment here. There are 0 checkpoints and no mid-mission saves whatsoever. There were times when I lost almost half an hour of progress due to dying. A lot of the difficulty in Filcher comes from some of the later levels, especially the last 2. In these later missions, the levels start to open up a lot more with multiple floors, points of entry, and exits, but can really start to frustrate once you've died 2 or more times and have to replay those early moments of the mission over and over. I get that some people out there don't like the idea of save scumming, even in a hardcore stealth game like Thief, but honestly, fuck them. Their opinion is wrong. It's my game. Let me play how I want. Thief could never have had those huge and fantastic missions with bizarre environments like the Sword or First City Bank and Trust if you were constantly worried about losing all progress from experimentation, or when you make a poorly timed jump. And speaking of jumping, why the fuck can't I mantle? This is one of the big problems I have with Filcher and why I question its immersive sim license. For a game that lets you flush the toilets and run the sinks, not being able to mantle on the environment really left a bitter taste in my mouth. It really can't compare to the freedom that Thief's movement gives you once you've mastered it. I can understand not having rope arrows for obvious reasons, but come on, you really don't trust me to get on top of that bed? What about the sound, though? Surely they got that correct in a game directly inspired by Thief. Well, yes and no is the answer to that question. What the hell? Is that the sound from the furnace in the basement? They got the important bits right, like tile and metal being extremely loud while carpet and moss are almost silent. The soundscape for the missions is very reminiscent of Thief, where some areas have this omnipresent hum or droning ambience that heightens tension and immerses you in the world. It's definitely not the most interesting soundtrack to listen to on its own, but it adds such a unique vibe that I seldom feel elsewhere in gaming. The main issue I have is that there is zero voice acting in this game whatsoever. Instead of voice lines, the guards will grunt and grumble to indicate how much they've been alerted. This really sucks a lot of the character out of the game in my opinion. A lot of the entertaining moments in Thief came from listening to these guards talk amongst themselves, or when they're screaming at you during a chase.
Huh? Garrett, you're crazy for coming down here.
Intruder!
This
Beware an intruder!
Ah! I'm gonna rob you of your organs, Taffer boy.
So what about the graphics and visual design? Well, for one, the game is dark, obviously. Thief was dark too, but this game cranks it up a notch with some areas covered in complete darkness. The environments themselves are very blocky and basic with low-res textures, making it look like a game from the late 90s or early 2000s. I personally love this low-fidelity kind of environmental design, as it makes it extremely easy to intuit where you should be going next instead of getting bogged down with visual clutter. It's basic and it works, serving the gameplay first. A lot of attention was paid to how the level should be lit, making it very easy to differentiate what areas are safe and what areas you become visible in, so you're not staring at your light gem as much. I rarely felt like there was nowhere to hide in a room, where I could easily look with my eyes to find a nice dark corner. 3D models just work so much better for a stealth game, especially in Thief, since your character model was a part of the game world, and your swings would actually connect with the enemy's model, helping you to gauge your distance. Overall, I really enjoyed my time with Filcher. They really got a lot right in crafting an engaging and difficult stealth experience. If you can put up with the save system and the lack of voice acting, then I think Filcher is well worth your time if you're a stealth enjoyer. I almost want to call it a Thief-like, since the two are similar in so many ways, which is why I wanted to create this video in the first place. I've played a lot of Thief over the years, and this indie game has come the closest to replicating that first-person stealth experience that I crave. Thief is still the GOAT in my opinion, which really goes to show how well it was designed, as it still holds up over 25 years later. I didn't play Thief in '98 by the way, since I was only born a few years earlier. Instead, I discovered it in my late teens and have kept coming back to it ever since. If you've made it this far, then I just want to say, thank you so much for watching. This is my first try at a video essay format and I learned a lot from the creation of this video. Maybe give me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I'll be seeing you Taffers next time.
Clear out of here, rogue. This is no place for you.